Hey everybody, and Tony here with my review of Serena Sáenz's graduation concert, which I saw at the Hochschule für Musik Hans Eisler Berlin's Neuer Marstall. The pianist was Matthias Samuel, and the compositions were done by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Eva dell'Acqua, Gioacchino Rossini, Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, Walter Braunfels, Giuseppe Verdi, Alexander Alyabyayev, and Pablo Sorozabal. I argue that Serena Sáenz has been growing in beauty, elegance, brilliance, brightness, and sheer awesomeness in everything that she has been accomplishing thus far as a fine lyric coloratura soprano. I have seen her voice mature from being quite peaky, especially in the higher notes, to gaining a lot more in clarity, in beauty, as well as in a good amount of focus, especially considering how her voice managed to project very well throughout the concert hall. Yes, there are some areas where she can improve on, like strengthening her coordinated chest tones, as well as ensuring that her top notes gain in a lot more clarity and not just having them placed rather high on the larynx. However, Serena Sáenz managed to carry her graduation concert with confidence, chutzpah, beauty, charisma, charm, and a whole lot of brilliance that I was practically eating out of the palms of her fine and lovely hands. Even her stratospheric top notes managed to gain in sheen, silvery beauty, as well as excitement. Regardless of what she sang, whether it be a high D or an E flat, an E, or even the occasional F, she was still able to own everything so well with a silvery technique that made her strong all the way through, as well as a whole lot of confident charisma that managed to make her brilliant in her own special way. Yes, there were some encore performances, most notably Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's Bester Jüngling, sung by Madame Silberklang from the comic opera Der Schauspieldirektor, Ach, liebe werte Freunde from Walter Braunfels Die Vögel, sung by the Nightingale, and Estrano, which then leads up to A Force è Lui, and finally to the cabaletta Sempre Libera, sung by Violetta Valeri from Verdi's La Traviata. And there was also supposed to be an encore performance of her singing the Barcarolle Belle Nuit aux Nuits d'Amour, in which she sang Giulietta to Alexandra Djatchenko's Niklaus from Jacques Offenbach's Le Comte of Man. However, due to some inconveniences with the traveling on Djatchenko's part, that unfortunately got cut and was replaced by Alexander Alyabyayev's The Nightingale, also known in Russian as Solovey. Once again, Serena Sáenz managed to demonstrate brilliant charisma as Madame Silberklang, silvery agility as the Nightingale from Walter Braunfels Die Vögel, and I even argue that her number one best performance, let alone number one best highlight, was when she sang Violetta's grand aria, starting with Estrano, which then leads up to A Force è Lui, and finally to the cabaletta Sempre Libera from Giuseppe Verdi's La Traviata. I even argue that this performance of Violetta's grand number was way better than when she performed it back at the main building of the Hochschule für Musik Hans Eisler Berlin. Here, Miss Sáenz was able to demonstrate a lot more nuance, excitement, charisma, and way more involvement with Violetta's conflicting emotions, whether she truly loves Alfredo or whether she wants to continue her life as a courtesan, living as freely as possible, but also being confronted by these new feelings of love, let alone genuine love, that she has for Alfredo after she encounters him in her party. The emotional involvement that Serena Sáenz had as Violetta Valery was absolutely brilliant. And I'm also hoping that she does tackle this role one day because she has the fine instrument to do so. Yes, it may not be the creamiest instrument that might be ideal for Violetta, a la Virginia Tseyani or Anna Moffo. However, she's got the great acting chops, she's got the looks for the role, as well as the elegance to make Violetta Valery work, and not to mention some fine acting chops to make her performance as Violetta credible should she fully tackle this role. Aside from her number one highlight being Violetta's grand aria, I also argue that her other highlights included her rendition of Rossini's Una voce poco fa from Gioacchino Rossini's Il Barbiere di Siviglia. She was able to play up that kittenish feistiness and that cleverness that makes Rosina a thoroughly lovable character. Not to mention the way she was able to make her girlishness and her charisma come to life, all reflected in her coloratura singing, whether she hits the stratospheric high notes or whether she launches at some passagios as well. She was able to do so with aplomb as well as with a whole lot of self-confidence that made her radiate all the way through and that made her thoroughly shine from beginning to end. On top of that, her rendition of Eva de l'Acqua's Villanelle was charming and agile, especially when she sang all of those staccato notes. And when she had a go at Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov's song Plenivshis Rozoi Solove, her use of flowing legato singing was well done. She was able to keep that flow intact as well as use those moments where she can sing with agility, where she can sing with brightness and lightness, and where she can just have a go at singing all of these wonderful top notes. And I dare not forget about her last-minute rendition of Alexander Alyabyayev's Solovyi. The way she was able to throw herself with pure abandon in this song was brilliant. It was emotionally involving. And the way she was able to make her voice burst with charisma, burst with great colors just pouring out of her mouth was something to truly behold. Then we get to her final numbers being Pablo Sorozabai's La Tabernera del Puerto, which she was able to accomplish with sufficient elegance and charm, and her final aria, which was in the form of an encore number, which is the anthem of every light lyric soprano, let alone lyric soprano, O mio babino caro, sung by Lauretta from Giacomo Puccini's Gianni Schicchi. Yes, she could have used a lot more coordinated chest voice, especially with the vowels. However, she was still able to emit a lot of girlish charm, as well as that yearning and longing in this aria, all reflected in her youthful lyric coloratura soprano voice that made her a nice candidate as Lauretta. Aside from Serena Sáenz doing an amazing job in all of her arias and songs, Matthias Samuel managed to bolster the evening with his fine piano playing, as well as for keeping up with Miss Sáenz in everything that she has sung. There is no doubt that Serena Sáenz's graduation concert is a microcosm as to why I thoroughly enjoy Serena Sáenz as a singer, let alone as a coloratura soprano. Her stylish elegance, her fiery charisma, and the way she was able to attack at those high notes with abandon managed to make her shine thoroughly in my eyes. And I can see a brilliant future in her with roles such as Violetta Valery, Constance, Mélisande, Catherine from L'Étoile du Nord, Dinora from Le Pardon de Plomoel, Princess Eudoxie from Halévy's La Juive, Leila from Bizet's Le Pêcheur de Perles, and the title roles of Delivy's Lakmé, Masnes Manon, Gounod's Mireille, as well as Juliette from Gounod's Romeo et Juliette. And if we're talking more bel canto expeditions, I could also see her doing a lot more Lucias from Lucia de la Mermur, Linda from Linda de Chamonix, Amina from La Sonambula, Elvira from I Puritani, Matilde de Chabran, Amenaide from Tancredi, Zenobia from Aureliano in Palmira, and Zoraide from Ricciardo et Zoraide, among many other great bel canto roles for Miss Sáenz. Stepping away from bel canto, I could also see her specialize in the likes of Zdenka from Arabella, Aitra from the Egyptische Helena, and Anne Truelove from the Rake's Progress. The possibilities for Serena Sáenz are absolutely endless, especially when it comes to her forte being the bel canto operas in the Italian repertoire. If I can give some pieces of advice to Serena Sáenz, it is to never rest on her laurels and also learn from a lot of her predecessors, specifically Mercedes Capsir, Maria Barrientos, Maria Galvani, Josefina Ogoet, Elvira de Hidalgo, Graciela Pareto, Anna Moffo, Virginia Tseyani, Dolores Wilson, René Doria, Vina Bovi, Jory Bouet, Ruth Margaret Pütz, and Melita Museli, because those coloratura sopranos of the past had way more complete techniques. They knew how to coordinate head voice and chest voice and sing with coordinated chest voice no matter what they sang, whether they sang their low notes or their middle notes or their high notes. Everything that they sang, no matter what their repertoire, managed to show completeness, as well as a whole lot of brilliance from top to bottom. And I also dare not forget about the likes of Blanche Aral and Gwen Catley, as well as Ray Woodland. Those were coloratura sopranos with just as much complete techniques as the coloratura sopranos I've mentioned. And they should also serve as blueprints for how Serena Sáenz should not only sing, but also how to maintain the freshness of her voice, because Serena Sáenz is on the cusp of an international career, and I do not want to see her talent being wasted. And I also would love to encourage her to be very conscientious of her choice of repertoire. So long as she stays within the lyric coloratura and light lyric soprano repertoires, she'll be fine. And so long as she makes wise decisions on which role she should take, I can see her career lasting for a very long time. Overall, Serena Sáenz's graduation concert was an absolutely brilliant ride from start to finish. The way that Serena Sáenz demonstrated elegance, beauty, charisma, and charm throughout all of her arias and songs that she sang tonight managed to make me thoroughly enthralled from beginning to end. There was not one moment where I thought she was boring. There was not one moment where I thought she was monochromatic. She managed to play with the different colors of her voice as a lyric coloratura soprano and do so with a whole lot of charisma, with a whole lot of involvement, especially from us, the audience. And her performance tonight managed to win us all over. And we can only wish her the best for her future, especially when she tackles a lot more challenges, as well as make sure that her lyric coloratura soprano voice remains intact. And for those of you who caught Serena Sáenz's graduation concert, what'd you think of it? Was there a particular aria or song that you loved so much and that you thought was the highlight? Did you feel like this concert was a fine testament to everything that she has been specializing thus far? Would you have also wanted to hear a lot more arias or songs or both in this concert? Or did you feel like she didn't really hold up that well tonight? Or did you also feel that she wasn't a particularly nuanced singer? Please let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for my review of Serena Sáenz's graduation concert at the Neuer Marstall. Tune in next time for my review of Insieme opera duets with Jonas Kaufmann and Ludovic Tézier, and I will finally review that album. So until then, good night everybody.